How's it going, everybody? Welcome back to another episode. And my guest today, she's a trailblazer who has gone by a few different names throughout her wrestling tenure. She was known as Victoria in WWE. She went on to do great things as Tara in TNA Impact. But one thing is for certain, she's not the lady to mess with. Miss Lisa Marie Varon, how you doing?
Thank you. You are the first person that pronounced my last name correctly.
Oh, wow.
All the podcasts I've done, they say Varon. And I'm just tired of correcting them at this point. But thank you for getting that correct.
So we're off on a good foot.
Oh, my goodness. But sorry about the lighting. I have my windows. I live in a studio loft in San Diego.
Yeah, no worries.
I just have windows, and it's so bright.
Mm-hmm.
And I have my ring light still, so because you use StreamYard, there's no filtering, and I want to get rid of the wrinkles. So there. Yes. Thank you for having me on your show.
Yeah, of course. How's it? What's a typical day for you like?
Oh my goodness. I set my alarm, which I don't need. I wake up early now, but I always make a list. I have my big cartel store, so I have a lot of shipping. I do a live auction. I try to do it once a week, but if I don't have a Comic-Con or a WrestleCon on the weekend or something like that, I do a live auction, and it's more like it's almost like an Instagram page where I can invite somebody in and chit chat with them, and then have them, we chit chat. How do you want me to personalize this? It's really awesome that when life after wrestling is not like what you guys think is super lucrative. We are still hustlers and trying to pay bills and make a living. And I live in San Diego. It's not cheap, not like New York, but it's it's pretty pricey. So it's adulting is way overrated. Can I just tell you? Yeah. Where do you live now?
Well, you hit it right on the head, New York. I thought it was pretty obvious right behind me, you see.
I did, but I saw that. But okay, so I had like a couple podcasts, and then one was from London. So I was like, oh my God, it's really late their time. You know what I mean? The time they, booked it. But New York hated it. And when we had shows in WWE in New York, like at MSG, we took a cab.
I mean, you kind of have to. I mean, I have my own reasons for the car, but like I know like subways for somebody who's like not like living in New York, subways and taxis, anything like that is the best way to go because
absolutely
it's a nightmare getting around.
It is, and then you get anxiety because you just don't know what.
Yeah.
What exit do I get off on? I'm not exit. Like what stop?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm with you. But thank you for having me on the show. I'm cutting you off because I talk too much.
No worries. We could start from the top here. I got a funny story for you actually. Cause about 4 weeks ago, I was funny enough taking my car to the dealership to get an oil change, and I was having a conversation with a buddy, and faintly mid-conversation, I cut him off, and I'm like, "You hear that?" And it was your old original WWE theme song. All the things.
Okay, yeah. I get that daily on my text messages and my DMs. Like, oh my gosh, look what just came on my radio. That kind of stuff. That was my favorite entrance music. I was very lucky that I got really freaking cool entrances. Nicki Minaj was my second one, but she wasn't Nicki Minaj at the time. And then in TNA, they gave me Broken, and they made it from scratch for me. And I loved every entrance song I came out to. I'm one of the blessed ones that did not come out with a generic hard rock song.
Yeah.
A recycled song, But yeah, that song still. I actually bought the single from Tattoo. This single on an album, dude, $175. $175 I paid for this. So I'm gonna
just to have the song like
the album. That's it. The album, the single, and I'm gonna put it with my, Yes I Lost My Mind T-shirt and my Yes I Lost My Mind 8x10. I'm gonna do a package and sell it. What am I gonna do with it? But I was just like, I want it, but then I put it, of course, in my utility closet. What it's going to get mold, and it's going to get cracked. So I just thought, we're all hustlers, like I said.
How much like input did you have on what theme songs were assigned to? None, or is it just organic?
It was when they gave me Tattoo. They asked, "We have an entrance song we'd like you to listen to," and then they showed me the video, and I was like, going, "Are they want me doing lesbian angle because I'm not a lesbian?" And which nothing against it. We're LG plus. I'm a big supporter. I'm a RuPaul. I'm a drag queen fanatic, and I went to go watch it, and I'm like, wow, it's really not for my character. It's not eerie enough. I go, can I go get Fit Finley? Fit Finley came in, and I go, it's just not scary. Like it's not like ooh, like Undertaker or Triple H song like coming out, like
Yeah.
And he's like, can you make it more creepy at the beginning? And so they did it, and I loved it. It was perfect. It was perfection. But and then they only owned it for a year. That's why'd you change your song? They only owned it for a year. And they asked, what are you into? And I said, I was a hip hop dancer as a kid, cheerleading, and took dance, gymnastics, and they were like, okay, we'll give you a hip hop song. And so they went to go get somebody that was not, her name was not Nicki Minaj. I don't remember what it was called. Her name was at the time. So they got her to do it, and I loved it. I really did. And then they remember that I was babyface, so it was a little fast, upbeat.
Mm-hmm.
And when I turned heel, they just slowed it down. Laziness. That's all I got to say is laziness. I'm like, really? Come on. And then TNA, what kind of song do you want to come out to? And I'm like, you guys are I'm not an overthinker. Whatever you guys think, I did like the Tattoo song, and then so they worked off of that, and I loved it. Still don't know the lyrics.
Yeah, your whole presentation I really enjoyed. Like they even from like the smaller details, like such as like the Titantron. I think they had the hand with the eye coming out of it. I think it was.
I did not know what they were doing. Your first name's Mike, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mike. I'm used to seeing on freaking Zoom the names here, but I did check your email. But they just said, like, keep on doing this with your hands. They didn't tell me what they were doing. And then if you see, there's a cheesy part on my Titron. They sat me in a trash can, and my head was supposed to turn around, but they just turned the trash can around, so you don't see the hair go to the other side. So yeah. But I loved it. And that's like so minuscule, like in wrestling. Like you don't really worry, like, what's my entrance song going to be? It's not, let me just present my skills and my wrestling skills out there. And that was more important to me than I didn't care about all the other stuff. You know what I mean? The glitz and glamour. I wanted to be an athlete, and show my stunts and me catching the girls and letting them look good, and me make an asshole of myself. Am I allowed to curse?
Yeah.
Okay.
No worries. Yeah.
It's like .tv. We curse on that too. Okay.
I mean, life's all about cursing. You know what I mean? So if it happens,
it's hand in hand. You can't talk about wrestling without the F word, unfortunately.
Right. So I know prior to wrestling, you were obviously bodybuilding. Did you have like any career path in mind, or were you just doing the bodybuilding thing and seeing where that took you?
Okay. I just did one bodybuilding show, and then I saw fitness competitions on TV, which was gymnastics routine with a dance routine. Like you had to insert certain one-arm push-ups, certain splits, some jumps, which was my forte. It was and then posing, and I was muscular. And when I saw that on TV, Fitness America, I was like, oh, why didn't I see this? Bodybuilding is not me. Like when I did my first bodybuilding competition, I would think I was 118 or 123 pounds. Oh. I'm 165 now. So it was like I was shredded, but got in it too fast where like my muscle maturity wasn't there.
Yeah.
But did the fitness competitions, met Tori Wilson, knew Trish from the fitness industry, and Tori got into WCW, and she brought me backstage. We became really best friends in the fitness industry. We were rooming together. We were both sponsored by the same company. It was Life O2. It was a water with it was oxygenated. And this is back in the day. I can't believe I remember this. And we did obstacle course competitions with the posing, the bikini posing and stuff like that. It was, they judge you by symmetry. It's not like boobs and butt. It's not that. It's like, does their delts match the quads separate? It's very detailed. It's very intricate, and it makes you insane because it makes you very insecure being really judged by your looks. Yeah. So shame on everybody that is so shallow and judges on that. But I was very competitive, and I went backstage with WCW with Tori to see. I go, you get paid to walk a guy out? Oh my God! And then she was trying to get me into WCW, but they were, not. I think that's when it was kind of crumbling. I don't want to say crumbling. That's so negative, but it was not. They weren't hiring anybody new. And when I went backstage, they were like, "Hey, do you have any fancy clothes? We'd like to use you on a segment." And one of the dancers, not Fly Girls, I'm getting Living Color, Nitro Girls.
Okay.
Yeah. Gave me an outfit, and I sat on Scott Hall's lap, twirling his hair, and with the entourage with all the girls, and they put me in a limo with them, getting out of a limo. And I was like, "You get paid for this? Are you kidding me?" Like, I was a biology major, pre-med, UCLA and Loma Linda University, and I don't have to think, And I met Chyna. She came. I started personal training. My old job was removing corneas, heart, saphenous vein, bone, middle ear for transplantation, and I wanted to go to med school. Okay, and that's what got me addicted to working out. When I was working on young kids that shouldn't been experience these health problems at that age, and I was like, my family, my dad's Puerto Rican, my mom is from Japan, she's not Japanese, but we ate to eat and enjoy. No dieting. No, we didn't know what was good for us. We just ate. That was it. And I was like, this is my future. And I got addicted to working out. But met Chyna at a health club, personal training, and she wasn't my client or anything. She just came in. I introduced myself. I go, you might know a couple of my friends that are in the industry, Tori Wilson and Trish Stratus. She goes, oh, are you a wrestler? You look like you would be a wrestler. And I go, yeah. I go, I think I can do what Rey Mysterio and RVD do in the ring, because I was a gymnast.
Right.
Of course, stupid ass me, I want to be a flyer, but that's more high risk injury. And I was a bigger girl. And she goes, oh, you should look into it. And I sent my stuff in to WWF at the time. And I got a call back in a month. And I asked them, what do you see me doing? They're like, we see you wrestle. And do you wrestle? And I go, my 3 older brothers did. My oldest brother was in the Olympics. And competitive family. This is where I get it from. Okay. And even in grades, like studying and stuff like that, we had to be at the top, right? And I Googled pro wrestling school, and I was like, they want to meet me in 30 days, and I thought I can learn how to wrestle in 30 days, which is not possible. And I got signed as Godfather was having an opening for 2 permanent Godfather hoes. That's my foot in the door, and the rest is history. I went to JR and said, hey, Brooklyn Brawler, JR told me I need to move to Memphis to learn how to wrestle a little bit more old school way and a little bit more intricate. And they're like, oh, you're willing to move. And I thought you were married. And I go, yeah. I go, but he's very supportive. And then they had a meeting about me. And then a week later, they came back and are like, how fast can you get to Memphis? And I go, when do you need me? They're like, in a week. Broke our lease in West Hollywood, California. Very expensive also. I have really bad taste in places to live with you. And packed our U-Haul up, moved to Memphis, and went there for a year. That school closed down. I got transferred to OVW. The rest got transferred to Cincinnati. And holy crap, I did not know what it entailed. It's not easy being a wrestler. Like what we do in there, from the outside looking in, it looks super easy. Anybody can do that. It's not easy. You got to think on your feet. For the girls, show your face. Like when you're in the camera, show the emotion on your face. Your outfit, working the camera angles. Like everything was the promos, like everything is just, it's improv. It's not
Yeah.
a movie where you take it from another angle, go, okay,
Hmm.
you didn't do that right. Let's cut, do that again. We don't get that chance. You get one shot only to get it. Not perfect. There's no such thing. But, you know, what's the word? Them just to go, that was, that was good. That was good. Never, that was great. That was great. Never that.
Just to
But,
prove it.
that was a good match. You know what I mean? Made us work hard, though. We were very competitive, you
Yeah.
know?
Things such as I talked about this with Melina as well. Things such as like facial expressions and body language are so like key parts of professional wrestling that like a casual person who doesn't maybe follow it as religiously, they're not gonna like pick up on like the psychology
Yeah,
right away. Whereas,
exactly. Psychology is the most difficult part about wrestling,
hmm,
is to get the people emotionally invested. But when I went to Memphis, it was more old school style. So when I went to WWE, and like you get brought up and you're like, hey, let's grapple. And they're like, yeah, wow, you really wrestle very psychotically. That's how I got my psycho gimmick. And I'm like, well, I'm just, we were taught in Memphis, you want the last person in the last row to be
hmm,
able to see what you're doing. So mine was very over exaggerated, like more body language. This is what I'm going to do to you. And I had to, sometimes cut back because it was too obvious what my next move was. But that's what taught me facial expressions and body language. I was more of a stalker. I'm not
hmm,
more of a, these days the generations change. It's very move, 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 spot, 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 spot. Mine was not. Let's do this. Stop. And I'll tell the camera guy, zoom in on my face because I'm going to kill this girl and I'm going to tell it with my face. You know what I mean? And that told the story. Like you got to do. It's the whole entire package. Is the character, the entrance, telling the story at the beginning. You got to know who's babyface, who's heel at the beginning. By the you want the fans to go, oh, that's who I'm supposed to boo.
hmm.
I'm doing my job. You know what I mean? I hated
Yeah.
being babyface, Mike. I hated it.
Oh, I can imagine it's a lot harder because like I think fans can relate to somebody who's a heel because I think everybody in their normal day in life, somebody's gonna hate their job, somebody's gonna hate their person that they're seeing every
Or
day.
that high school or junior high or the elementary school bully, like that asshole kid that was like, shut up already. Like, fuck. I mean, excuse my language, but just shut
Yeah.
up. Let us learn. Like, where you're interrupting like those, or like you get picked on and stuff like that.
Hmm.
I think it's easy to be somebody to hate than someone to love. It's more difficult being a baby face, but it's also the heel's job to make you feel sorry for the baby face.
Hmm.
So it's for you both are partners in this, like dancing partners. One's bad guy, one's good guy. And usually, like if I don't hear them booing me, I tell the girl, cover your face. I'm going ape shit. I'm beating the shit out of you. Like just cover up, protect yourself, because they're like, stop, get off her. I go, okay, now I did my job. Now they're booing me. You know what I mean? So like, it's a lot of listening to the fans, what they're buying and what they're not. I do
Right.
miss old school characters. I really do.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
Ironically, we're talking about, and I do agree with you that I enjoyed you more as a heel than a babyface. But ironically, my first memories watching you was when you were a face because it was actually the hair versus hair match with you and Molly
The
Holly.
Molly Holly, yes, yeah, and that was her idea. The
Yeah.
hair, she went to the office. I want to have the first hair versus hair match on WWE television, and they asked her, "Who do you want to face?" And she said, "Victoria." You always want to work with a person that's very giving, and
Hmm.
not the person that goes, "I got to get my shit in." That's the
Yeah.
same company is, "Let me get my shit in." I don't care how bad. I mean, I want to look good as a wrestler. Part of being a heel, you make yourself look like an asshole because I can trip on the ropes and people are
Hmm.
like, ah, you tripped, and I'm like, okay, I'm a heel, I can do that. But when they turned me face, they were like, that's when they were like, hey, what kind of music did you listen to? And as I was a hip hop dancer, they're like, oh, come out and hip hop, do a dance routine. Oh, great. But it was no like transition of like, why did she turn babyface? I was getting cheered for as a babyface. That's why people were not booing me. They were like going, "Oh, she's a badass, chick," and not the normal skinny girl, model-esque kind of girl. She's a very tomboy, and I'm still a tomboy, obviously, with how I dress. But yeah, I'm not the feminine, dainty kind of gal. But growing up with three brothers, that explains a lot. But yeah, I was just thrown into that, and I was like, that's when I started kissing kids and going, I don't know how to be a babyface. I don't know how to get these people to cheer for me because I'm much bigger than these girls. How am I going to get them to be on her side when I'm obviously a bigger girl that can probably beat them up? Not to say size is everything, but it makes sense. You know what I mean? You're always scared of the bigger Goliath in this,
Yeah.
But yeah, that's weird that you started watching me when I was a baby face.
I caught you like right at the very end of the heel, but it was when I was like the majority of my recollection of when I started watching.
Okay, you're young. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Okay, I get it. Okay.
So Madison Square Garden was where that show took place. So that's why I was like I remember it very well.
Isn't that like epic building? And that building is my first hardcore match with Trish. And New York, they like the heels.
Tell me.
They just are just down and dirty and they just, I get it because my dad's from the Bronx, you know what I mean? Like the badass person gets the cheers and stuff like that, which is shame on my upbringing, right? But yeah, that was epic. It was just I'm gonna be honest with you, I had an amazing career. I have no complaints at all. My body hurts, don't get me wrong, like I'm a little grizzled. We call ourselves grizzled vets. But aches and pains go with it. But I'm very proud of the new generation now. Like they are freaking, they can run circles around us. Back in our, like mine was more move, stop. Let me show my face. Let me get my body going. I'm gonna kill you. That kind of stuff. And now it's just like, oh, I could not keep up with this person. Like they are just so athletic and they're cardiovascular. They're very agile and
they're like Olympians now.
Seriously, my goodness, yeah, craziness, yeah. Very proud.
What did you think about the shift from obviously when you first started? Because you came up in the Attitude Era, obviously, and then
it was the golden generation. It was the golden era. It was the tail end of the
tail end of the Attitude, right?
Okay, yeah. Okay, what do I think?
What did you think about the shift from when you first came up to then like towards like your exit around like 08, 09? Because there was kind of a shift. Well, not kind of. There clearly was a shift where like the women's matches had gotten like much shorter towards the end of your run, and then like the moves, you weren't allowed to do, like you were restricted on what we were allowed to do rather.
We had to be reminded. We had to be reminded that we're women and to fight like women that you see at a bar fight. We do pull hair, and we wanted. Our mindset was like, we want to wrestle like dudes. We know how to suplex. We know how to do this move. We know how to superplex. We, like I can military press her. We wanted to show off and be the best wrestlers, not as females, just best wrestlers at period. But even my generation, like the Diva Search came in, and I didn't have wrestling experience, Mike, when I got in. I got in on my appearance and my athletic ability, gymnastics, and my dance routines, and the stuff I presented to them. You know what I mean? So I get it for the Diva Search and all the new girls that were brought in as a model and on their looks. It's not their fault that they got brought in like that. So give them a chance. Let them prove themselves that they deserve to be there. They got in early, like Christy Hemme. When she got in, that's like probably like I've never, like Vincent McMahon and I, like I've had 3 conversations with them in my life, and one of them was, give me Christy Hemme. I'm gonna make her look good. I'll get there early at shows, house shows. I'll get there early. Let's give her to me. I'll make her look like $1 million. I don't care if I look like an asshole. I'm gonna make her look good as possible. And because I was very green when I started and still feel green sometimes when I go back. And you can't, like, it's not, there was an opportunity. They took it. You know what I mean? Anybody would take it. But don't treat them like shit. Give them a chance because they could be fabulous. You know what I mean? So the humbleness. I just had an interview with Charmel, Booker T's wife. I hate saying that because it's like Booker T's wife, Charmel, Queen Charmel. And we were talking about our training back in the day, and just being humble is a big part of, you got to be humble.
Right.
I'm realizing when I was doing independence after I was thinking I'm done, and no, it was just like, I go, wow, these people are like, not entitled, but it was like we were always super nervous to go out there, like about to throw up, and we were like getting nervous belly. I got to go to the bathroom. Hold on. No, we're up in 5 minutes. Okay, I can't. Okay, do you got it? Like, we would be like, and once our music hit, we're in character. But that nervousness made us have such great wrestling matches. We would say, hey, sorry. Let's say sorry now. I might tag you on this move. Like, I don't mean to do it. It's entertainment. You got to take that in consideration. I don't mean to really punch your face or slam you so hard, but the emotions, and you feed off the fans so much that you say sorry in the back and hug each other at the end. Did everything feel okay? Like, be honest with me. Did I tag you on this move? Because you need to let me know, because I need to kind of hold back a little bit next time, because you want to work longevity.
Right. It's about having a sustained career.
Yeah. It's just important to you're trusting each other in each other's like hands. Like, I would rather hurt myself and break my arm, break my neck before I miss a person falling from the top of the cage, and I miss her and she breaks her arm. I'd rather hurt myself before my opponent,
Was it you and Michelle McCool that had to refilm a match during like a taping because like the punches looked
I don't know. I hear from you guys why we had to do it again. I still don't know the exact reason. We're like in the back taking our gear off, going, it's soaking wet. Our gear is like, we don't look pretty anymore because we just, like, our eyelashes are dangling off, and we have to do it again. I'm like, shut up. No, we have to do it again. What?
Wow.
And then we hear later on, like, it was too manly. I don't know. We were, workers, and I don't know. I don't want to say manly. Don't clickbait that. No. I don't know, but you're saying maybe our punches were too good, but we had to do it again. And we still came back going, no one even came up to us. Why did we have to do that again? I still don't know the explanation, which is a good reason why I need to ask Michelle McCool, why did we have to do it again? Did she ever make a remark about that?
There's a YouTube video from one of her she had an old YouTube channel, and I think she was talking about it in there. I think if you look up on Google Michelle McCool and Victoria like redo match, or there's a video of it, and it's
and that match was not like an easy 3-minute match, when we started getting cut down on our times and stuff like that. We got so used to that. So okay, we have 9 minutes. It's probably going to be 5. You know what I mean? Because someone's going to go over on their time. We still have to keep time cues for, you don't want to take any time for the main event. They're the ones that fill the seat. Like, God forbid Shawn Michaels get 3-minute cut off his match, or you would never say anything, but you want, they are the main eventers, and we have our place, and don't go over on your time zones. But some people do. And unfortunately, us women paid the wrath of that. Yeah, we would have 3 minutes. Oh, Jesus. What do you want to cut out? Well, we'll just talk it over out there. Just, we'll improv out there. We'll fill it. We'll listen to the time cues from the referee, and he'll tell us when to go home, which means you need to finish this. You know what I mean? And we would just listen, or okay, get ready, cover your head. I'm going to cut you off really big time with a big, strong move. And then, alley-oop, then you either win or lose, that kind of stuff. But yeah, it's It was part of the business. I'm not angry about it. I'll be honest with you. Like I think the fans were more angry than we were. We were
Yeah.
like, we would just roll our eyes. Oh, that's typical. Okay, it's another night, that kind of stuff. But we were never pissed about it. What the F? We never were like that. We'll make the best out of the situation. You know what I mean? It's
Yeah.
part, back in that era.
I think you were actually very instrumental during that era in terms of helping to like groom some of the newer women that were coming up. Because if you think about it, Michelle, right prior to her push, you were working very closely against her in like a feud, and then you actually were the one that like on screen introduced Natty. So you were kind of grooming both of them.
Which is very bizarre. No, no, Natty has way more experience than me. Natty, oh, no way. No, like she could wrestle circles around me. No way. There was not, no, I was just, when you're new in the company, you're not welcome with open arms. We had one match, female match. So we're all fighting for that spot. You know what I mean? And I knew like every new girl that was coming in, give them to me. You know what I mean? I know they're green. I was green when I started. I didn't know what the hell I was doing either. Like Kelly, give her to me. Yeah, she's beautiful, and people do not want to see her get hurt. I'm going to hurt her. Well,
Yeah.
quotation, hurt her. And
Kayfabe.
people are sorry for her. You know what I mean? And I didn't groom everybody. I just was easy to work with. Like when Candice Michelle, like her retirement match, she wanted with at Hardcore, Tommy Dreamer's
Yeah.
promotion. I want it with Lisa. I knew why, because I'm very giving in the ring. What do you want to do? Okay, that's fine. Let's do it. I'm not one like, well, I don't think I'm bigger. I don't think I should do that move. That's too strong for you. I don't care. Well, you know what I mean? It's a give and take. You can't be selfish in this business. And if you're always second guessing, like, am I being too selfish? That's what the agents are there for. Like, I would go to fit. I go, does it make sense? This is our match. We wouldn't go choreograph, but this is our cut up spot. This is the go home spot. This is the beginning. Is there anything that needs to be that not to do? And he would say, yeah, that doesn't make sense. Like that. I mean, you go to the Arn Anderson, Ricky Steamboat, you go to the big wigs, Regal and all that kind of stuff. Hey, can I just tell you like a little bit of some of the spots, that kind of stuff, because we want to go out there and entertain and impress everybody. We're not Miss Know-It-Alls. And I'm proud to say that a lot of people like to work with me because I was not snobby. I wasn't like, why are you doing that to me? It just never happened. It's wrestling. I'm not an MMA fighter. It's entertainment. Let's make the story work. Get the people invested. I'm going to be the bad guy. You be the good guy. Let people love you. You get the posters. You get the Playboy spread. Let me be the bully. You know what I mean? And that's part of it. You know what I mean? That's the business, man. You know what you're getting into. I think the fans are more upset than we were, honestly. Hey, I got on, you know what? Like, I had a match on the card. That's all I care about. At least I was on the show. You know what I mean? I don't care if I win or lose. I was a part of that episode. I was part of Raw. I was part of SmackDown. I was part of the pay-per-view. I was on the live event. Like, at least I had a match. You're grateful for the experience and be part of a show. Such a great, big stage of a show. You know what I mean?
Yeah. So is the Hall of Fame something that you ever think about, or you're kind of just like, if it happens, it happens?
And Mike, you guys are more upset. Every time I do a guest appearance, I do Comic-Cons. I love my Comic-Cons. I'm a big nerd. Okay?
Oh, yeah. They're coming to New York in October, Comic-Con is.
Oh, pitch me.
Yep. They're going to be here.
This girl here. I've never done New York Comic-Con. Honestly.
Yeah. It's relatively new, I think. Yeah.
I love Comic-Cons. I'm just like, Ninja Turtle, Transformers. I like my animes. I'm just into that lifestyle, more so than the wrestling cons.
Yeah.
But when I do the conventions, you guys are like going, why the hell have you not been in the Hall of Fame? I'm like, it's not my decision. You guys think I can call and say, hey, I should be in the Hall of Fame? That's pretty pompous. It's pompous. I can't.
Right.
That's not in my genetic. Like I'm very humble. I'm not. I should be this. I should do. I'm just not. I'm not a conceited person, and
Right.
when it happens, it's well deserved. I'm not in a rush. Like the fans tell me this how they feel about it. Yes, you're asking me if I want to be in the Hall of Fame. Of course, that's a big pat on the back from the company, and it's a cool ass ring.
Yeah, well, that's besides.
Instead of carrying my WWE belt at every convention that I'm always at, I might have on my shoulder. I always give it to the fan or like the friend. You hold the belt. Let's take a picture. I'll have the ring. You know what I mean? But it's not like it doesn't hurt my feelings.
Mm-hmm.
I think I'm pretty satisfied of like what I've done in my career. Do I have anything else to prove? No. I worked hard for my spot. I wanted to be the best, not female wrestler. I wanted to be the best wrestler. I wanted the respect from the guys, the girls, production, cable guys, the cameramen. It's a whole team. Like it's a whole team, and it's the camera guys too. The guys that move the cord so you don't trip on the outside of the apron, and like it's just a group effort. It's the whole crew that makes a good show.
Yeah.
And I think people are forgetting that. I'm not saying thank the little people, but thank people who are part of the show. I don't care what you do in that company. If you're like, I can't even think of a spot. The one that's sweeping the freaking canvas between matches. Thank you. You're preventing me from breaking my neck and slipping on something. Getting the oil off the ropes. Freaking thank you. Thank you for doing that. You're not better than anybody else. I'm sorry. Yeah. I got a high horse right there, didn't I? I got a little bit on my little platform because
I know. I mean,
I like humble people. I surround myself by not entitled people. Like I like people that are just grateful.
Yeah.
Grateful for the experience. You know what I mean?
Listen, you gotta own that. There's nothing wrong with that.
I would never be able to experience the world, go to Japan, Korea, all these places. Of course, we don't get a vacation there. We go straight to the building, to the hotel, that kind of stuff. But to be able to say that I've been to all these places and just like these different countries, you're just like, you don't think you're big there. I remember going up to, I think it was Japan. Who are these velvet ropes, these red velvet ropes for? Is like AC/DC here, or is Ozzy Osbourne here? They're like, no, that's for you. And I'm like, us? What? We rent our car. We stayed at Red Roof. I'm like, we don't get this velvet ropes and everything like that. It was very bonkers to me, but it was like, wow, for us, like wrestlers, I think we do live like in a bubble, like for me, like if I get recognized, oh my God, I can't believe it's you. Oh my God. And they go crazy. And I'm like, hey, I live in a studio loft in San Diego. I clean my own pee-pee pads. I have to steam clean my carpet. I am just as normal as you are. I just had the opportunity to be on the big screen. You know what I mean? The big platform, the big stage of WWE and Impact Wrestling. And I'm very grateful of that. But I'm one that doesn't. I'm not comfortable when people freak out when they meet me. I don't know what you'll
like that's like that makes you anxious, or
yeah. I'm like I go here. Stop it, and then I'll start talking to the mom, and I'm like I'm not ignoring the situation, but I avert to something else, like going because I don't know how to take it, and I feel like in the same boat as them because I mark out when I see Sting, Undertaker, Ricky Steamboat, and Rick, I'm still a mark too. And I'm not different than, I just got to work with them, but I'm still in the same boat as everybody. And don't worry, they just texted me and they're running 10 minutes late. I know you're looking at the time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. But I'm very grateful of what I've done, and I'm not trying to sound so politically correct. Honestly, I'm not trying to kiss ass or anything like that. I know like how like my longevity in the business, and I think my longevity was working with the green people and not being like, you've only been in the wrestling business 2 months, you don't belong here. I'm going to give you a chance because I got the opportunity. I didn't have experience either, and I got the opportunity, and became what I was. I'm
Hmm.
trying to word myself because I hate clickbaits going, Lisa thinks she's the best, because I don't think I'm the best. You know what
Listen,
I mean?
you don't have to worry about that with me.
Like, we hate those. We hate those.
No, I know. It's
Oh,
just
Lord.
people try to take the easy way to grow their brands.
Which I understand, because we have God TV show with Mickey James and SoCal Val, cheap plug, but we don't do clickbaits. And this is, people ask like, wow, you guys get a lot of guests. It's because we're friends with them. They know we're not going to throw them under the boat. I mean, like,
Right.
under the bridge or anything like that. Like, we're not going to go, he said this happened. It's not going to, it's a trust one on
It's a
one.
trust building exercise.
It is. And
Yeah.
then like people ask, when you emailed me, like, if you want to look at my YouTube, I did reach out to Melina. I go, I have a um, interview with someone you've done it with. Oh, she goes, did you watch it? And I go, I don't know. I really don't watch. I'm sorry. I just saw. I go, is it someone that I have to go, easy on the questions, like be respectful, that kind of stuff? And she goes, no, I would tell you. She goes, yeah, we all talk to each other, like what podcasts are good to do, or ones that are like, they're just trying to show off to the friends, like, you know what I
Yeah.
mean? I've had once before, and I was like, I was booked for a 45-minute podcast, and they didn't introduce me for 30 minutes in the podcast, and I'm like, um, okay. I go, I timed it from the beginning because my boyfriend comes home from work. Okay, don't forget I'm in California time.
Hmm.
The dogs are going to go crazy. I got to feed the dogs, so I'm timing it, going, I gotta cook dinner. See how normal we are. I got shit to do. I got to the post office, and I got that. But yeah, it was just like, I was, who booked this? I was just like, oh my gosh. And then yeah, you'll remember those, and those will come up, like going, don't do that one, don't do it, like that kind of stuff. We
Hmm.
all talk, try to
Yeah.
protect each other, and not saying waste. It's very flattering to get requested to do interviews, but some of them, they're not savvy. How do you word it? Um, Not really familiar with the career.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you're like going,
Like you mean like they don't get like
they
your
don't do
they
research
don't get
on,
your craft.
they don't do research on what I've done, and so, okay, this person they don't know who I am, so I take over the whole conversation, and
Hmm.
I'm doing the podcast. So we're trained to do that, though. I think like some of us know how to talk, and just, if this person's lost, I don't want this to be a shitty show. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah,
But
yeah.
yeah, but they don't research you, or like, like, oh, I loved you in the RTC. I'm like, that was Ivory.
So it's kind of like a oh, look at me type
That's
of thing.
Ivory. That was Ivory. They thought I was Ivory when they were interviewing me.
That
Like,
happened.
yeah, that's happened. Of course, I'm not going to repost it. Like, if it's a bad interview, I'm like, don't even tag me. I'll hide it, like that kind of stuff. But I'm flattered, because I think Ivory's drop dead gorgeous, and we get confused all the time at conventions, all the time.
Hmm.
We look alike, and we same personality. And but when they think I'm really like, I loved, how was it being like with a straight, like, the questions, I'm like going, I don't think they know who I am. But then I don't want to bury myself by going, I'm not going to go, you don't know what you're talking about, this interview is over. I'm not going to be like one of those people.
Hmm.
So I'll just intervene and just go, I did this, and I'll, try to talk about myself like as a fan would, but not pompous, not conceited.
Hmm.
Sorry, that hat was too hot.
Well,
Okay.
I don't want to keep you too long. I know we've already.
Do you have any questions that we did not cover?
I mean, I just had I was gonna ask you about, because obviously you returned in the 2021 Royal Rumble. Obviously, I was gonna ask like, what was like what was like kind of like your reception? Because I mean, I'm assuming after so long of not being there, it must have been.
They told me 2 weeks to get ready for the wrestling match.
Like 2 weeks
cannot
before.
train yourself to be ready in the ring without getting in the ring.
Mm-hmm.
And so I bought a freaking $150 recumbent bike, trying to get my cardiovascular. I ordered, which I have my Rumble outfit right here. I called Jolene. You can follow her Instagram by Jolene. I have another outfit getting made by C. Lopez Design. But I had this outfit. Whoops, sorry.
Oh, yeah.
There. Okay, yeah. I wear this on my conventions. I think the only wrestler that wears gear. But
well, you stand out then. That's good.
Well, because I feel like people don't want to meet Lisa. They want
to meet the person they watched. Yeah.
I try to put my extra effort in there, but I was so blown up. But you'll see me if you watch it back. Me on my entrance, I'm walking down, and I never seen what it looks like on the computers, like when people are watching. Mm-hmm. So I'm nervous, of course, but once my music hits, I'm ready to rock and roll, right? And I go, oh, this is, in my head, I'm like, wow, COVID has just changed life.
Those are all TV screens.
Yeah, and you see faces, and so I wanted to take a moment, like, wow, this is freaking cool. There's still a live audience. I think I would have been more nervous if there was a live crowd, especially coming back for so many years. But I went. There was one point when someone shit canned me, which means throw me out of the ring, and I grabbed the camera guy's leg. He goes, "You okay?" And I go, I'm so blown up. Oh my God, I'm out of breath. I'm like, I can't prepare for a match in 2 weeks. It's impossible to do the cardiovascular and be in shape for that. You know what I mean? And then get my gear. I flew in 3 days early and stay hidden. I didn't even tell my parents I was going to Florida because I thought they would say, hey, good luck in WWE, welcome back. I just didn't want anybody to know. So I stayed hidden. Only Jillian and Mickey James knew.
Oh, wow.
Tori didn't even know. And it was very emotional. I cried all day. It was so great. It was so, I'm sorry, so emotional, but I just appreciated what I've done. You know what I mean? It was a validation, kind of like, because again, like I tell you, Mike, we're like normal people. I might get recognized once in a while in Walmart. I don't walk around with this makeup on. So I'm in a ponytail. This is a fancy workout gear because I'm on your show. But I'm normal, like no makeup, baseball cap, not sparkly baseball cap, just a normal with my reading glasses and stuff like that. And I was so nervous. When I came out, there was not going to be a reaction. And because I've been out of the business so long. And so I was like, God, no one's going to even know who I am and that kind of stuff. You kind of self-doubt. You're a little bit insecure still going back. And when I saw all the videos, you can see, I reposted them on my Instagram, like the reaction from people, like watching it. Oh my God. And they start crying. I was like, I watched them once. I couldn't watch them again. It was just so emotional. And just, I kept on going outside and they're like, what are you doing? And I go, I think COVID ruined me being around so many people. I was just so overwhelmed. I'm like, what if they're going to be disappointed in my, I haven't wrestled in so long. I'm doing all these moves. I'm like, and haven't been watching all the product. So I'm like, who's who? And I'm like, and then they all were starting to bump and feed for me. And I was like, oh, what's going on? This is too much. Because I, as a heel, I got my ass kicked, until like a certain moment, right? The heat. But I was like, oh my God, I'm getting all my moves in. And Nikki and Tori kept on pulling me aside, and Bailey. Oh my God, there was just so many people that pulled me aside. Not a lot. I'm going to be honest with you. There was just a very handful of people pulling me aside going, you deserve to be here. Like, remember who you are. You're freaking Victoria. And I'm like, I don't remember my repertoire. I'm like, I'm so out of the loop. I'm like, what am I doing here? I'm not ready. I gave me 2 weeks. I wish I was in better shape. I'm like, I gained 30 pounds. Like, you start self-doubting yourself, but it was epic and just a lovely experience. And to be part of that locker, I even did a cheers. They had champagne back there. I did a cheers, like, thank you for being so open arms, welcome me as, old has been back in your locker room. When some of us old people come back, you're just like still going, sometimes when you go to a locker room, they look at you like, what is she doing here? Is she coming back? Mm-hmm. So you're like, you can read their face, because as wrestlers, you can read our face. We sell everything. So if we're lying, you know when we're lying, because this is our business. You sell on camera with your face. And so you read that and you're like, well, wow, am I not welcome here? Like, it's just a lot of self-doubting. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? I'm 52, and it was incredible, Mike. I think someone said I didn't feel welcome. Like, there was some clickbait that someone said that Lisa wasn't treated back when I got back. And I was like, I never said this. I don't know who they're listening to. They must get me confused with somebody else. I don't know. Never said that. And unfollowed the freaking podcast, because I'm like, that's not what I said. It was a clickbait. And I'm just like, made me look bad and not appreciative. And, I wouldn't be like, these Comic-Cons, without the fans, without WWE, without TNA, Impact Wrestling, all the indies, like all that kind of stuff, I wouldn't be me. They pay my bills, and I'm very appreciative that I get to do what I still enjoy. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I know.
I love your
kind of sickening. It's sickening. I know.
I love your approach and just your overall outlook on like the entire thing. Like the fact that like you're humble, but you also like are willing to like give credit where it's also due to like.
Do you think, Mike, too, like, I don't know how many people you interview, do you think it's our age, like when we grow up, like maybe experiencing out, like after being in that limelight and then experiencing real world, to look back, like appreciating what we did, and then like trying to transition back into normal, like, what do we do after wrestling? And thank God for Comic-Cons. Thank God, I'm a huge fan of Comic-Cons and stuff like that. That's, everybody's like, what do you do for a living? I go, I'm embarrassed to say I do Comic-Cons. I always, if there's somebody that's not a wrestling fan, I go, oh, I work at Comic-Cons. Oh, what do you do? I go, oh, I help run the show, like, set up and all that kind of stuff, which I'm not lying. I am setting up my own table. But I don't want to be pompous, like, I do autographs. You know what I mean? I'm very appreciative, and to get to meet to all these, like, I'm a Attack on Titan and like all these other celebrities, I mark out big time, and yeah, I love it. I just love that life, and everybody, the nerds and the geeks like myself are the superstars. So I always look for the cosplayers. I'm like, excuse me, can I take a picture with you? You want a picture with me? And I go, oh, I love that show. I love that show. I want to take a picture with you. I'm not part of the show. I go, I love your costume. I don't care. So they're the superstars. The tables are turned. And I love that. I love to see their face light up when you want to get a picture with them,
That's the most rewarding part.
Isn't it?
Yeah.
It is. I love them. You got to go to New York Comic Con. Have you been to a Comic Con?
No, this would be my first one if I go, yeah.
You need to go. You need to go. It's an experience. The first one you're like not going to understand. You're just like, wow, everybody's dressed up and all this other stuff. But hear me still?
Yeah.
I'm echoing on my. But go there with open heart, open mind. I guarantee you're going to find like 10 friends you become best friends with.
I'll remember who told me. So
it's a bonding experience. Like for me, like all my Attack on Titan people, my Batman, like the shows I watch, they're like, I'll see someone dressed. I'm like, do you remember me? I go, yeah, you were dressed as like you were dressed as Mikasa, like, or that kind of stuff. And it's a bond, and no judging people. there's no, like back in my day generations, there's no like, oh, he's a nerd, he's a geek, he's this, like the stereotyping, there's none of that. Everybody's accepted. And wrestling fans are, it's not a taboo anymore. It's embraced. It's embraced.
There you go.
You like that? You like that, Mike?
Love
I was very, very passionate on this. I might have to schedule my next one because I give so much to the first one that I feel like I'm slacking on this next podcast. So I'm like, let me be fresh.
Yeah.
So different Lisa mood. You know what I mean? But yeah, Mike, thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you. Don't forget, like my closing. Follow SoCal Val, Nikki James. We have a show on YouTube. It's God TV Show. YouTube.com/God TV Show, and we just drink wine. We're in pajamas. We just talk with old friends, not strictly about wrestling. We're trying to accept, like we're trying to introduce new genres to our show and just kick back and just shoot the shit and just, it's a fun show, just talking about real life, not just wrestling.
There you go, guys. Go subscribe to that when you can, and thank you so much again.
Thank you, Mike. All right, don't go too broke in New York.
I'll try. I'll try.
I'm in the same boat as you.
Godspeed.
Okay. Godspeed.